exciting. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to Jodi. Jodi Tosini, if you guys have ever heard her speak, put a 1 in the chat. And if you're like, who's Jodi? Who's this person? We don't know who Jodi is. Put a 2 in the chat. I'll tell you, we were laughing on the cruise, the most recent trip, because one of the Canadians introduced himself to Jess, and they were like, Jess Rigner? Like, I don't know you. And Jess was like, okay, apparently I'm sleeping on my business. I need to make some noise if you don't know who I am, right? So you guys should all absolutely know who Jodi is, but she has quite a story. So Jodi is a Division I basketball player from the University of Missouri. She headed to New York after graduation, ready for change and excited to begin her future as a middle school and high school history teacher. After 12 years of teaching and too many conflicts with administration and the politics, she lost her passion and wanted out, but had no idea what to do next. As she tells it, she was unemployed, in debt, overweight, and blaming everyone else for it at the age of 39. I'm going to just mute some of you guys here. She quickly realized it was time to take responsibility. And just around that time, she was introduced to nutritional cleansing and the business of network marketing. You guys, who can relate to that? Like, I don't know what to do next. And then this business just like hits you over the head like a 2x4. Fast forward many years later, she had already assisted hundreds of others to achieve their health and financial goals. From the beginning, sharing her results was so much fun. She quickly realized how the business model of network marketing would allow her to pay off all of her credit card debt and eventually retire from her teaching career 10 years ago. 2014. Woo woo, that's the same year Jess and I retired from our full-time jobs. We all know that timing is everything in life, and she is forever grateful for the opportunity of health and entrepreneurship that was introduced to her by her perfect stranger and sponsor, Alexis Romano. Who knows Alexis Romano? You guys never know when one person's going to change your business. The next Jodi Tosini is waiting to get enrolled. So please help us welcome legacy member in Jodi Tosini. And Jodi, while you were like on and off, and I wanted to like give you a little personal insight because I always do the bio. I was saying, I think the first time I really sat down and like hung out with you, we were having drinks in Maui at Top Achievers with like Todd and CJ. Yes. I was like, I think that's it. But I will tell you guys, I mean, the people in Isagenix have always impressed me. Like, I was this skeptic person with like network marketing, and I was like, who gets in this? And I heard educated people and like really professional people that I was like, they had successful careers and they chose to do this, that it just like validated it over and over. But of the entire company, which I think is full of authenticity, full of integrity, Jodi is real. She's raw. Like the things that have always rubbed me wrong about this, of like smoke and mirrors and hype. And it's like, you don't have to be like, take it or leave it. This girl leaves it on the table. She's inspiring. She's raw. She's funny. It's exactly how it is. And it's a joy to have you. So Jodi, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm sorry for my tech issues, but it looks like we're on now. I appreciate that. And I absolutely remember our sitting at the, saddling up at the bar in Maui.
Yeah, I actually think Jessica was like in the process of setting Todd up with a different type of human at that time. We had a good laugh about that. So, okay, yes. Introduce yourself, like your story. I know I read the bio, but like give us a little bit more. Like, what were you like? Why this? What had maybe you been approached to in the past? Like, when did you decide you wanted to like go from cleansing to the business? Like, give us the lowdown.
Okay, so 39 years old, as you mentioned. I was a history teacher in New York City, middle school and high school. Very burnt out, frustrated with politics, frustrated with administration, frustrated with the low pay, especially trying to live in Manhattan on a teacher's salary. I was in debt. I was very unhealthy. I was getting ready to turn 40, and I also was at the private prep school, so you don't get tenure. And you have to be invited back every year. That's kind of how it worked. There was no job security. And so I didn't get invited back to the school one year because of my conflicts always with administration. That's another story in itself. Long story short, I'm 39 and I didn't get invited back, and I didn't have a job going into turning 40 in my own profession. And so this was my version of rock bottom, because I was, as I said, in debt, unemployed now. I had to sublet my apartment in New York for a year, and I lived on my best friend's couch. So yeah, pretty low for me. I like to say my definite version of rock bottom. And after really being a victim for probably at least 3 or 4 months, just kind of, crying to everybody, complaining, and definitely finding fault everywhere else but me, I finally I finally, it just hit me. It was like, I'm responsible for my life and no one's coming to save me. And I had never heard of network marketing, but I was introduced to a seminar called Landmark, the Landmark Forum, and it was personal and professional development. And I went to this seminar and I was sitting next to a perfect stranger. And actually, you mentioned that Alexis sponsored me. She actually didn't sponsor me, which is funny. Here's what happened. This goes to show you too. So I'm sitting next to this perfect stranger in a seminar, and the seminar leader says, turn to the person next to you and talk about the what's next. And I just looked at this guy and I said, I want to reinvent my career and I want to transform my health. And I said, I don't know how that looks right now, but that's what I know I want to do. And he said, oh, I have somebody you should meet. And the next thing I know, he had me on a three-way call with Alexis Romano. Now, I lived in Manhattan. She lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, just right across the river. And so she was at first just talking to me about the 30-day program, right? And so I was like, well, okay, but I'm a skeptical New Yorker. And so I said, well, I'm not doing anything with you until I meet you. I'm just talking to a stranger on the phone, right? And she goes, okay, great. Come over to come to Hoboken, come meet me. And I said, okay, I'll be there. And literally, like 2 days later, I went to Hoboken. I was sitting on her couch, and she shared her story with me, how she had literally at that time when I met her, she had just recently left her teaching career because she had earned enough money in isogenics to be able to leave that career behind. And that was after 21 years as a teacher in New Jersey. And so I listened to her story, and I just resonated, and I looked at her and I was like, she was just seemed like just a regular person. And I said, well, if you could do it, I could do it. Right. And so she had to enroll me underneath the person that the perfect stranger that was sitting next to me. I'm the only person he's ever enrolled, but she had enrolled him. So she knew right away that this guy really wasn't going to do anything. I'm the only person he enrolled. So she just reached down and she coached me through my program, and it was within a week I started to feel great and feel great results, as we all know. And then I said to her, I go, so what do I do to make money like you do? And she goes, are you coachable? I said, I'm at a point in my life, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that's what I did. And I also got really quickly, I was like, follow the people who have what you want. Right. And so I looked at her and she had what I wanted. And I just did what she told me to do. And, my first 30-day program, I lost 17 pounds. I worked out every single day and I followed it to a T. And I had a really incredible physical and emotional and every transformation. And so everybody started asking me what I was doing, and all I did was put them on the phone with Alexis. And that's how I began my business, three-way calls.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Jeff and I always laugh about like how many times Janny must have gotten on the phone with us, and we both were like sponsor monsters in the beginning, but we would just be like, Janny, we have this person, and she was just always available. And Alexis, that's how it is. We
Yeah.
encourage you guys to do that. You're just ignorance
Mhm.
on fire, right? And you're like, I feel amazing. I don't know. You got to talk to this person, right? And I laughed. I don't know if you saw
Yep.
in the chat, but when she said this person on the phone, you guys, back when we started, there wasn't Zoom. It's like we couldn't even have a Zoom. It was
Oh, yeah.
literally a three-way call. Like when Janny called me, I was like, "You're who? And you're married to what?" I'm like trying to Google while we're on the phone. Like it's hard to even imagine, like 10 years ago, but it wasn't like this. You didn't see it. So I love that. Okay, so you go from this amazing transformation. Everybody's on the phone with Alexis. You probably got some paychecks along the way from like double pivots or a cycle, whatever. What was
Yep.
your aha moment when you were like, okay, I want to do this? Like I actually can do this. And what were the first things you did? Do you remember?
Yes, I do. I remember that I had a line. I said a script to everybody because everybody I when they saw my transformation, everybody was like, Jodi, what are you doing? And my line was, listen, I have no idea. All I know is I feel better than I've ever felt. And let me get you on the phone with my coach, and she can answer all your questions. And let's see if it's a fit for you. That was my line. And then it was like, boom, three-way call, boom, three-way call, boom, three-way call. And Alexis was just closing it, closing it, closing it, closing it. And so all of a sudden I cycled, I think when it was really an aha moment, I got the PIBs, and the PIBs I understood, right? It made sense. It's like, okay, I enrolled this person. I got this amount of money for enrolling this person on a 30-day. It was when I cycled that was my aha moment, and I remember I cycled 3 times, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's like a little buildup from the work I've been doing." Just but, and then I also remember that the way that Alexis coached me through the 30-day program, I was coaching the people that I was enrolling the same way. I was very much hands-on. I'm a relationship person. I love people. I'm all about building relationships. I think that really that's the strength that I bring to Isogenics. That's my personal strength. And everybody has their different strengths and stuff that they bring, but that's what I bring. So I, built relationships with the people that I wasn't just putting them on Isogenics. I was building relationships with them. I was coaching them through the program. I was being strict with them on getting their goals. I was finding out what their goals were, and I was being strict with them to get them there. I'm a past coach. I coached every sport, every season, and a teacher. So I was a big, kind of, uh, motivator, I guess, too, of them getting their goals. And then that's kind of caught. It just started to catch, and that was my aha when I started cycling.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't know if you can see the chat here. Laura Lori, who I know she's my 4 PET, but like one of my strongest leaders. But she had a great result, told a few people, and got paid. And she was like, "Okay, what just happened? Because you did all the work, and how did I earn $700?" Like, I will never forget that phone
Yeah.
call. And I was like, "Well, technically, you introduced me to these people." She was like, "Yeah, but you're talking to them. I put them on the phone. Like, why is this company paying me?" And then she was like, "Well, what if I actually tried to do this a little bit more?" So it's super fun. So what do you think? How do you help people in those early stages? Like, I remember being like at a place that like $50, $100 was like game changing. So any pib, we had the $10 healthy lifestyle pack at that time, the double pibs, of course, on a 30-day or president's pack, value pack now was amazing. But when you started to see the cycles, and I too was like a cycle a week, 2 cycles a week, like I remember just quickly being like, that's $100, that's $162, that's,
Mhm.
and being so motivated by that and wanting to grow. But I think some people who maybe are really comfortable or already have a really successful career, or maybe they don't believe it will grow, what advice do you give them when they're like, how am I ever going to go like from 1 cycle or 2 cycles, especially someone on maybe an inside leg that doesn't have a lot of volume, to see what it's like to have 10 cycles, 20 cycles, 100 cycles. You guys, I mean, Jodi, cycled, I know, more than 150 times in a week, and like that growth from, 3 cycles to that. Like, walk us through how you would get someone to really see that picture.
Well, what I really appreciated from Alexis was she would say, what is your short-term goal?" So the first thing I wanted to do was I was a private tutor 3 nights a week. Oh, I had also gotten a part-time teaching job after I had gone through the not being invited back and all that. So I was a part-time teacher, but it was a big commute where I was going. I was coaching every sport every season, and I was a private tutor 3 times a week. So I told her, "Well, I would love to be able to have my evenings home so that I could actually focus more on my Isogenics business. So she's like, let's figure out what you're making per week in your private tutoring, and let's make that your first goal." And so that was like so doable for me. I looked at it, I said, okay, I'm making 300 a week in private tutoring. I'm going to go for 300 a week in my Isogenics business. That's going to free me up my 3 nights, 4 nights a week that I'm running around Manhattan to people's houses, kids' houses, trying to tutor, which is going to give me tons of time to be able to get on calls, make calls, set up calls, and do all that. And that's how I started it. It was just like that. And then I hit that. And then it was like, well, what's next? And then the next thing was, well, I want to get out of teaching eventually, but one, I want to get my apartment back. So what do I have to do to get my apartment back? Right. So now I'm not living with somebody else in their living room. And then I went for that goal. And so I just kept doing like bite-sized goals. And it was so fun to work towards a clear, specific bite-sized goal and set a date. And it wasn't that I hit those dates every time, but it was so clear to me the path I was on and where I was going. And then it came down to, now I want to leave teaching forever. Right now I want to so now I gotta make the amount of money that I would make as a teacher, which at the time was $73,000 a year. And in my 3rd year of Isogenics, I did that. And so once I did that, then I was like, okay, now I'm going to make the jump, I'm going to burn the boats, right? And I'm going all in. And then and so then I just kept setting goals, right? And really clear, specific goals with dates, short-term goals. I didn't really like, I had this whole idea. I would see the millionaires, I would see all you guys, like a lot of the, top leaders and stuff. And I would love it. And I was very inspired by it, but I was like, it was a lot for me to be like, okay, so I just kept, like, my vision was like that all the way up.
I'm
Yeah.
so much like you. In our very first NYKO, Jess and I, we had met for the first time. We are cross-lined to each other, both mentored by Janie Elo, and Alexis was nominated as the 100th millionaire. And Jess looked at me and she said, what are we going to wear on stage when we get recognized as millionaires?
Yeah.
And I remember looking at her and thinking, you're crazy. Like, we're not going to be millionaires in this company. And I was like so excited to make like $1,000 that month or something,
Yeah.
So I love that. And we just recently talked about that, Jess and I specifically, like when people came on, back with us, a few years ago, that was like the next step. It was like, we showed the compensation plan. It was like, what's your short-term goal? How many cycles do you need to make to do it? And let's go. And then once you did that, it was like, what's next? What's next? It wasn't like you get enrolled and you quit your job, and you didn't want to tutor. I worked brunch on Sundays and I was like, I don't want to work brunch again. I remember being like, if I cycle 2 times a week, I never have to work brunch on Sundays. If anyone's
Yeah.
ever worked brunch in the service industry, then I was highly motivated, but I love that you talked about that. And that's so true. Holly Kirsch just sent me a text. So I want to interrupt for one quick second because there's a lot of brand new people on here. So for all of you brand newbies, like, good job. Thank you for being on here. And if we're speaking Iso-Latin, we are. Don't worry, you'll learn it. I forever was like, are they speaking a language? Is this network marketing thing? A different, whatever it is, this company, you'll get it. But PIB stands for product introductory bonus. So when you share with anybody, you get a 20% commission. Okay. The first time you share with them, it used to be that they were on certain packs or certain products. It was a fixed amount. So whether you sell a box of collagen or you sell $1,000 worth of product, you always earn 20%. And then PET stands for personally enrolled team. So as someone shares, as someone shares, as someone shares, and as our team grows. So if I enrolled Holly and Holly enrolled Jen and Jen enrolled Laura, like your personally enrolled team is growing because someone you enrolled is sharing with others. However, our compensation plan is so generous that all of the volume or all of the points on our product roll through the organization, that whether you are enrolled them or they're just in your organization, we all benefit from that equally. So I want to get back to asking Jodi some questions, but I will tell you, for all of you that are brand new, please go to isagenixbusiness.com. Our business website has been revamped and improved so much. It is incredible. Please check out PBC 123. If you are a 2 or 3, the first video will walk you through hitting consultant, what a PIB is. The compensation plan is up there, the one pager. There's some really, really, really great new videos. And if you guys have been in Isagenix for a while and you're like, oh, I forgot about isagenixbusiness.com, or like, hey, I haven't been on there in a long time, I encourage you to go check it out, because I was just on there like 2 days ago and was like, holy, but geez, like this thing is better and better, and it is so organized and it's amazing. So please go check that out. Holly, hopefully I answered those questions. And for those of you that still think I'm speaking Iso-Latin, we are, but you'll catch up and don't worry about it. So back to Jodi. Sorry for the little segue there. I want to know, what are you doing to motivate your team right now? Like maybe in the summer, just maybe, being, over 10 years in with the company, like what is it that has you being able to drive them, keep them as excited, or bringing new people in? Like, talk to us about what's happening right there.
Yeah. So I will tell you, real and honest. So COVID, so when the C word hit, I don't even like using that word, but when the word hit, in the beginning, it was like everybody was like, "Oh, this is great. Everybody's going to be more into health." And we were all on the calls, all on the Zooms. We were doing power hours. We were like all in. And then, it lasted a long time, right? And by the time we finished with that uh, pandemic, I realized, like, I mean, 50% of my team wasn't plugged in anymore, was kind of like off. Things had happened. People got divorced. There were deaths. There were a lot of moving, right? Moving to different states, moving all over the place. Like it became, and I don't know if you've experienced this too, but I've talked to a couple of leaders that experienced it too. I was like, oh, it wasn't just me. Okay. Um, but, and so there was a while there where I just was like, "Oh my God," it's like 50% of my team, like the ones that were always there, showing up, plugged in, always there, are kind of like life just happened and they're not always here right now. And yeah, they might be on, staying on subscription and once in a while, sharing and things like that, but they're not here right now. And so for a while I kind of, would talk to them and chase them down and things like that and ask them what was going on in their life and think and then I realized, what am I doing? I have to lead by example. So then I just went to work and I said, you know what? It's time to build. It's time to build, build, build. And so I made some adjustments and I decided I'm going to go on and enroll. I have to go on an enrolling spree. I have to bring a lot of new people in and I have to work with them. And I have to really like, uh, you know, introduce them to my style of building a team, which is really, it's all about team, it's all about relationships, it's all about supporting each other, it's all about plugging in, getting on the calls, going to the events, going to team dinners, going, throwing team parties. Like that's how, and so I started to do that. And I would say like that's been really great because some of my former teammates have come back, but we have a whole new group also in. And then a lot of people that were also still in, it just kind of excited them a lot. And so they started to see what I was doing. And instead of getting depressed about losing this person or that person or this person moved, whatever's going on, they also were like, oh, wait, let's go. And so that's kind of where I am right now. I'm in the let's go build mode right now. And, Isagenix has also gone through changes as a company. And I'm excited about the direction that Isagenix is going. I've had conversations with our CEO, Sharon Walsh. I'm excited. I've had conversations with David T.S. Woods, who's come back as the Chief Visionary Officer of Isagenix. That is amazing to me because that is kind of the culture and the Isagenix, I'm kind of calling it 3.0 now, direction that we're going in. I'm like all in on it. So I think that's what leaders do. Leaders show up. Leaders are consistent. Leaders don't quit. And that doesn't mean, and to me, being a leader, or sometimes I like to call it a team captain. I interchange those words, team captain to leader. If you are an associate in Isagenix, start acting like a team captain. Start acting like a leader. And then create create the direction of your momentum from that place. And that's what I'm doing again. And that's what I'm teaching my people to do as well. And so that's where we are.
I love that. I love that you took radical responsibility. I love that there was never a blame or a shame thing, right? There was like, okay, here's what I am recognizing. Here's what I've tried to do. And then, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Right. And it's funny, the people in Isagenix that just have that perseverance, like time and time again, it's like you just put your blinders on. It's like, hey, we did it before, we're going to do it again. And Jess and I had a conversation shortly after my son was born and, going through changes and, everything with the company, we all know that those things happen. But I said to her, I'm never going to be frustrated when someone doesn't want to do Isagenix anymore. I remember saying, like, if someone doesn't want to be here, or they go to a different company, or they've just moved on from something. And I think about like how many different, and this is not anything against him, it's just in corporate America in the tech space, like how many different jobs my husband has had in 10 years and the companies he worked for. And to think that I would have been 11 years in Isagenix. And then from a product standpoint, I'm like, is there one thing I've shopped for consistently with so much loyalty for 11 years, and with the exception of Lululemon, as I literally racked my head against this, there isn't another one. That's the only two that for that long I've had. I don't have loyalty towards anything. And so the people that we've had for this long, but what I love about what you're saying is when you're really in it and you don't quit, is that when you have the vision that David T.S. Wood is sharing with us, right? Like it's the Isagenix edge, and you know our community, our products work. Like we know this compensation is amazing. There's so many people that have never experienced it, that for people that rode their wave and left, or they wanted to go check out something else, or they just decided it wasn't for them, that there's new people everywhere. I mean, I was looking at some of the team win recognition in Jessica's page, and Holly Kirsch, I think, has 17 enrollments from last month, if I'm correct. And it's just like, that's 17 brand new people that are loving the products, that are excited about the opportunity, coming from someone who's been in the business already for many, many years. She didn't get enrolled yesterday, and that stuff, I know people deflate other people because they're like, oh, well, Holly can do this. And I get so inspired because it just validates how many people are looking for our collagen, how many people want the whole body cleansing, how many people want this community, want the Monday paycheck. And for you, as many years in too, Jodi, to just be like, I love this. I'm not going back to teaching and tutoring or whatever else. Like, we're doing this and I'm bringing all these people with me. I'm going to be the captain to create this amazing culture. Like, it gives me goosebumps head to toe. So one of the things you said about what you do with community, you said team dinners, you talked about the calls, but you said events. You actually teed up my next question. Talk to us about celebration. Like, how are you getting people there? Why is this a non-negotiable? How are you inspiring new people maybe to bring other people to it? Like, I'd love to kind of hear what you guys are doing there.
So I'm a big believer, obviously, that events build your business. I think that if you can get people to events, then the work is done. Like they will know when they come to an Isogenics event, a celebration being the top of Isogenics events, they will know if this is their home. They're gonna know. Right, and I've had some people know that it's not their home, and that's fine too. At least you know, right? But you will know. You're going to see the culture, the people, the leadership, the leadership from the field, the leadership from corporate. You're going to be introduced to all the products, the science behind the products. You're going to be around that community and all of it. And it's just if that hits. I mean, for me, that first event I went to. So I turned 40 years old at the first Isogenics event I went to. And when Alexis asked me, are you going to I had just started, a few months before. And she was like, are you going to the event? And keep in mind, I had no money either. And it was in Vegas and it was August 2013. And I was turning 40. And I said, no, actually, one, I can't really afford it. And two, I'm turning 40 and my whole family and friends are planning a big party for me that weekend. It was literally on my 40th birthday. And she said, well, if you're serious and you really want to do this and you want to like get out of teaching, like you told me you did, then you'll find a way to be there. And I'll connect you with some people who you could room with and figure it out. Just figure it out. And I liked that boldness in her telling me that. And I always remembered that because she could have easily been, all right, yeah, you're turning 40, your family's throwing a big party for you. You probably don't have a lot of money. You just got fired and you started Isogenics. You just recently started. Like she could have easily bought it. They were legit reasons, right? Those are legit excuses. But instead she did not let me argue for my limitations. She literally didn't. And I'm so grateful that and she didn't know me that well either, but I'm so grateful that she stood strong and was like, well, yeah, you need to be there. That's all the more reason why you should be there. Here, say yes and figure it out. And here's a couple of people you can call and see if you can be roommates with them. Like, and that kind of bold, I was like, okay. And I said, I'm going to get there. And so I didn't know anybody. I spent my 40th birthday in 2013 in Las Vegas at a Isogenics celebration, and it changed my life. And I'll never forget my 40th birthday. And I probably wouldn't even remember what my 40th birthday was at this point if I didn't go, right? And it completely changed my life. So I'm coming from that experience when I talk to people about going to events. So I have boldness when I tell people how they need to be at events, even when I hear their excuses, even when I see their situations, even when I know they just started, or even when I know that they haven't made a lot of money in Isogenics yet, or whatever it is. I remember that someone took a stand for me in all of that, and it changed my life. So I come from that place. And then I also heard Eric Worre say one time, amateurs, what did he say about getting people? First of all, he says events is the greatest skill. Getting people to events is the best skill that you can develop in network marketing. Getting people to the events, it's the highest paid skill. That's what he said. It's the highest paid skill. And the second thing he said was amateurs invite, professionals promote, or something like
Yep,
that, or
yep,
like
yeah.
professionals fill the seats, right? And so that's where I come from when I talk to people about it.
It's so good. You guys, Jodi, I don't know if you ever heard the story. And for those of you that haven't heard it in a while, my very first event. So when we got paid, it used to be on a card. It was like a digital gift card that got loaded. not our direct deposit. And we used to get paid, cycles still a week in the rear and things like that. But we had something called daily pay. And so if you sold a premium pack or value pack, which used to be a pace setter or president's pack, you could get paid in 24 hours. The single part of the PIB, the double part was still the following week. This is a little confusing in tracking our pay early on. But my very first event, and I was super, super broken and broke, and Jenny was putting that same pressure on me to go. And I was like, lady, like, I don't have money. Like, and she was so, affluent and thinking like me not having money was like I had something less than like 10 grand in my account. And I was like, no, like I don't even have $100. Like I have no money. And like,
Yeah.
there's no way for me to go. And I remember her like mapping out how many packs I had to sell and telling me that card was going to be loaded in 24 hours and she was going to meet me in Kansas City. And I remember like showing up at this hotel being like, this card better work. Like I'm screwed because I'm in another city with a stranger if this card doesn't swipe, like without a backup plan. And then I loved it so much and it changed my life so much. Many of you know this, some of you have never heard this story. She bribed me to get Jessica to NYKO 3 months later. I went to an ICU and she said, I'll buy you anything you want from Lululemon. She was like sending me pictures of the catalog. Which hoodie do you like? Tell me whichever one you want. It's yours. And to this day, my favorite all time hoodie is this sea green little scuba hoodie that I bought as a result of convincing Jessica to come to the event. And look at Jessica Rigner now. So if this doesn't scream like the
Amazing.
importance of events, like I love that. So I have two more questions for you if you give us just a couple more minutes. If
Yeah.
you have a brand new person right now that's not wanting to do a reset, not here for adaptogens and cleansing, but really caught the vision. Maybe they were just fired. Maybe they are really needing residual income. Someone who's like, I'm in it. Teach me the business. What would your onboarding look like? What are the first few steps you would go through with someone to help them be successful?
Okay, besides the normal, walk them through their back office and do that kind of just basic, get the ABCs done. The one thing that I do right away is I connect them with other people on my team. So I connect people to people. And in fact, I think I have somebody on this call right now that I asked to come on. She just enrolled on the collagen a few days ago. Um, she is interested in the business, and one of the first things I did was she became an associate, and then I put a Facebook message chat on the Facebook message, and I connected her with like 5 or 6 people on our team that I thought she would resonate with. And I introduced the chat by saying, "Hey team, meet my new friend Donna. This is how we met. She just became an associate. She just, ordered the collagen, and please share your stories with her and any advice you have." And then other members of the team get on and they introduce themselves to her, and then we friend each other on social media. So my number one thing is, like I said, I operate from relationships. So my number one thing is connect people to people. And sometimes it doesn't even it's these aren't people who are always financially linked to me either. These are just people that I think she'll connect to, because I will do the same thing for anyone. So if you have somebody that you think might resonate with me, and you want to connect me just to introduce them to other people in isogenics and stuff like that, I encourage that. I think that is a powerful tool to use. And then you get them, friending on social media, and then you plug them into calls, right? And then you check it. And then, of course, you want to coach them through whatever products they're going through, right? To make sure they have a good experience, answer all the questions, keep them motivated if they have weight loss goals or whatever goals they have. And you're you're with them every step of the way. But more importantly, and most importantly, for me, it's bringing them into the community.
Love, 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 love that. Okay, here's my final question. I know that your inbox gets hit up with, other people trying to bring you over or sell you something or whatever all the time. All of us top leaders get it. I will tell you guys boldly, like,
Lately, it's happened. Lately, it's been more. I don't know why.
the things that people like, if you guys ever want to see my response, by the way, I'm happy. If anyone wants to see my response when that happens, because I get so offended, I will happily show you what it is. I will first tell you this. I love network marketing, and for legitimate companies that have good products, I'm a really great customer. Like Isogenics has my
Me too.
flagship, like so tall, and I'm so committed here and so in love with it. And I don't dabble in anything. I've never looked the other way. Like Isogenics is home, but I do use a lot of products. Like I've told you guys about my Mary Kay girl. Like, there's other things I like. Like there's other good companies and other good products out there. But the things that slide into my inbox that like make me want to throw up, that first of all, I'm like, did you read that? Second of all, does that sound convincing to you? Right. But when I think about for me, like isogenics is so home. Like I wouldn't have my husband without isogenics. I know that. I wasn't the same person that I am without the personal development. Like I wouldn't have this time. I would have been able to for IVF. Like I would have, there's so many different things, right? Like the way I feel, our energy, the collagen, this nutrition, like all the things. But I love to ask leaders that come on here, corporate that's on here, like why, for people who've been in here for a while, right? Like, why is this your home? What do you think sets us apart? Why will you continue to invite other people? Why will you not look left or right with all the shiny garbage objects out there? Like, from your words to close out the call, why is Isogenics the best company?
Isogenics is the only network marketing company I've ever been in, and it will be the only network marketing company I will ever be in. I am a loyal person. I do not get distracted by shiny new objects. That's just not me. I'm a team person. I stick with my team to the end. Like that's just the type of person I am. Also, Isogenics products have completely transformed my health, but not just my health. My entire family's health, my parents, my siblings, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, like, and you stick with this for a while, eventually people that have like 8 years of telling me no, 10 years of telling me no, of people that know I'm in isogenics, of telling me no, not about the business, but about the products, telling me no about the products, are now coming on. All right, yeah, I'm going to start using those products because you know why? Over time, and this is 11 years for me too, Lauren. I've been using these products every single day for 11 years, by the way. I probably use at least 20 to 25 products every single day. I'm drinking hydrate right now, by the way. I'm addicted to the new hydrate, the watermelon hydrate. But 11 years of using these products. I just turned 50 last August. And I'm also very good. I also have a lot of lifetime friends, like college buddies, high school buddies, junior high buddies, like, right? And so that are my age. And there's a separation happening. Any of you guys been on these products for a while? Are you seeing the difference between the aging process of the people your age and yourself? If you're consistently using these products every single day, you will. And it's powerful. And it's the same, it's not just me, it's the same with everybody who, in my family who are using these products as well. And so, yeah, my belief in these products are through the roof. Absolutely use them every day. My 5-year-old nephew uses them. My 75-year-old father uses them. We are all every day, and we know so I know, why would I go anywhere else for that? Two, I really think that the compensation plan, now that I've been doing network marketing for 11 years, even though I've never been in another company, I have heard and read and listened and been educated on many other different compensation plans, and I've never heard of anyone as good, any one of them that it couldn't even compare to Isogenics, because you can come in here and you can make a lot of upfront money right away, no matter who you are, no matter where you start, no matter where, anything. And then you can build, and we're all, it's the same, right? And then the support from the team leg is incredible. So the compensation plan, and then the culture of this company it's my type of culture. I like fun. I like to have fun. That's Isogenics. Do we have fun at our events or what? Right? Like I love the fun. I love even our chief scientist is fun, right? And scientists aren't. I guess they're usually boring, right? But not ours, right? Our CEO is fun. All of corporate has that fun culture about them. Um, I love the team, the one team kind of family culture about Isogenics, and I feel so grateful and fortunate that this is the only company that I stumbled upon, and then that it happened to be the one, and it's home for me, and I'm never going anywhere.
Same,
Did that
same,
answer
same. I
your
love that.
question? I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, it is. It is.
Okay.
And I ask everybody, okay, here's my rapid fire, and I promise I'm really done after this. Okay.
Yeah.
Of your 17 products you use a day or whatever you said, pick your
Oh,
all-time favorite. One. I know it's hard. You got to
well,
pick
one, okay. I'll just tell you my daily routine, okay? I
No, no,
get
no,
up in the
your all-time
morning.
favorite product. You can just tell me one.
Oh, my all-time favorite product.
Yep.
Okay, well, obviously a shake is staple. I have to have that every morning for breakfast. I do
No
the
shakes, you
hydrate.
can't even do it. One. You get one product. Is your shake your answer?
One, you said
One.
3.
No, 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 one. I have 3 questions. One product.
1? I
One.
can't do 1. Are you kidding me?
One.
Uh, well, then a shake. I
Shake.
mean, because
Okay.
that's my
You guys didn't
but
answer
I
this.
love so it it's a really hard. It's hard.
After I
You're
ask it at
pinning
the
me
rapid
against
fire,
the
you guys
wall.
can put it in there. Shake. Mine for without a doubt is Ionics. Like, I mean, ooh, being
I have
pregnant,
every day
not doing
too.
that as often. That's Ionics, right? Let's do. Ooh, XM. Good job here. Okay.
XM
Second
for sure
question.
every day.
Second
Hydrate every
question.
day, collagen every day, nootropic every day,
This is why you have
vitamins
to build a
every
business
day,
because the isogenics, like
these
personal order.
shots every day.
When people tell me that they don't know how to keep 100 BV, I'm like, well, let me help you because
Oh,
I order like 1,000. So, like,
yeah, absolutely, 100%, yeah.
okay, best personal development book you've ever read.
Best personal well, so when I first came in, Think and Grow Rich was huge for me.
That's a great one.
That was my money mindset, and I've read it a million times. It's like a Bible for me, and I know it sounds cliche, but for me, the money mindset thing is that was my foundation for for starting network marketing.
Okay. And the last question, if you could go back and
But I
tell
will
your,
say, wait, one more book. Can I just say, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie. That was an amazing
if
book as
anyone's
well.
struggling with sales, you got to read that one. Okay.
That's a
Last
good
question.
one.
If you go back and tell your younger self anything from when you first got started, best tip of advice, what would you tell yourself then?
Um, Coachable, open. Just be open-minded to things. Right? Like, I probably could have, saved myself a lot of pain and grief and time if I was a little more open and not so, uh, ego, skeptic, I know, I know type person. That's what I used to be like. So I would definitely say open-minded in listening to new ideas and listening to people who were successful.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
So good. You guys put some comments in the chat, unmute, give Jodi some love.
I
Thank you.
can't
Thank
see
you.
I can't see the chat because 'cause I'm afraid to touch this computer because every time I did before, things kept messing up, so I didn't see any of your chats, just so you know.
Oh, well, there's great
Yeah,
feedback in here. People are loving on you. They're like asking great questions. They gave some great product stuff. People are saying you're the best. Thank you. Thank you, Jodi. Best call. So inspiring and like they're so insightful. You're getting blown up over here. I'll copy and send some over to you in Messenger. So thank you guys
thank
so
you, I'll
much.
see you guys at Celebration then.
We'll see you